the capacity for change is a distinctly human experience. The ability to decide, this is not what I want. I want to look different. I want to come across different. I don't like my life. I don't like my job. As a human being, you have the capacity to leave your job, to change how you look completely, to completely turn your life around so that it is literally unrecognizable to what it was before. And it's, I don't know, it's crazy to me that so few people use this. that people get so comfortable in their lives that they forget that they can change. People who say all the time, God, I hate my job. I wish my nose was smaller. I wish I lived in Rome. The human brain's ability to fool us into thinking that the word someday means it's going to happen. And someday is a lie. Someday is a lie. Someday is the word that keeps you from doing the things that you say you want. And what's crazy about that is, if you did the things required to make that happen, and it didn't work out, then you change again. And yeah, that can be very scary. Even just leaving your job, even just looking for a new job for some people is terrifying. What if my boss finds out? What if this? What if that? Yeah, what if? Life is life is out there. Life is out there waiting for the people who say someday, or maybe when. Yeah, it's just, I was at the vet today and I met a woman who is 68 years old. And when she was 66, she grew up in Houston. She's been married for 40 years, I think. I think they just celebrated their 40th anniversary. And she has 2 children who've long since been adults. And she always hated Texas. She's from California. And she looked around at her life and she said, this is not what I want. I want better. I want more. I want different. And she quit her job. She left her husband. She told her kids, hey, I'm moving back to California. And everyone in her life was just like, wait, you can't do that. You can't do that. And the thing is, yeah, you're a human being. You can absolutely do that. You can do whatever you want. Yes, there might be repercussions. That's life. And so she's moving from a place where it is, they had a large house in an affluent neighborhood with all the right friends. They belonged to a country club. And she moved to California on her own with nothing but her dog. And she's living in an apartment, in a rented condo right now. She's not sure that buying is even feasible for her necessarily. And she's fine with that. She's fine with that. She said she's literally not been this happy since she was a teenage girl when she left California. And that whole experience, people who look around and say, this is not what I want. This is not for me. I want better. I want different. I want more. Those people amaze me. I love people like that. I love meeting them. Now that she's here in California, she says she doesn't feel settled yet. She loves it here. She's concerned with what's happening in the world, and particularly here in her home country, which she loves. And she's considering She's retired now and going to see the world. She didn't get to do that. And I just so resonate with this woman who is, 10 years older than me, but has we have the same thoughts and wants. And knowing that at that age, at 66, she just blew up her whole life, said, see ya. I'm not going to wait. She and her husband kept saying, one day we'll travel. And she realized that for him, someday, one day was literally never going to come. And he was fine with that. And she's not fine with that. So she left. And she's planning her trips. But now her planning is different. She's planning her trips around where might I want to stay. So instead of going to, France for 2 weeks, she's going to France and she's going to go around and to every town she wants and see if that's a fit for her. She's going to go to Spain. She said she's always wanted to live in Spain, but she's never been to Spain. She knows nothing about Spain. She is, and I love this, taking a course to learn Spanish. And she's learning Mexican Spanish because that's what we speak here, and Mexico's right there. It's a very widely spoken language. It's always going to benefit you to have a second language. And if you understand that Spanish, you'll do fine in Spain, although the dialect is very different. Doesn't matter. She's learning it at 68. I just love that. I love seeing humans that understand, yeah, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And they do it because change is uncomfortable. Even small changes, when you've had the same life for so long, even small changes are uncomfortable. And so what? So what? Lots of things are uncomfortable and we endure them. Having a job you hate is very uncomfortable, but we endure it because what if I don't get another job? What if this? What if that? Yeah, what if? What if you got an amazing job? What if you got a job that you hate just as much? Then you go find another job. We're no longer in the era of you find one job, you work for them for 30 years, and then you retire. Yeah, that's not a thing anymore. That's not a thing anymore. She got to do that. I don't know if got to is the right, but she chose to do that. And now she has a retirement, she has a pension, and that she is pretty much able to live off of. In another country, she'll be able to live off of it. Here, she does work still. Small jobs, gig work. A 68-year-old doing gig work. I fucking love that. I just love it. When I see people living the life that they want, it makes my heart sing. It just makes me so happy. Because again, lions don't get to say, you know what, fuck this pride. Fuck them cubs. And leave. They don't do that. It's not instinct. Their instinct keeps them there. There's a reason for that. But human beings, we don't have that. We don't have that. We have the luxury of changing anything we want to change. It just takes some faith and some balls. And yeah, you can say, oh, well, everything costs money. Yeah, everything does cost money. But if you aren't willing to live with less, then you're fine where you are. Keep that job. Keep that job you hate that pays you enough to take, 3 vacations to the river or whatever. Keep that job. You're where you're supposed to be. You don't need to worry about it. But some of us want more. Some of us absolutely will not tolerate a job we hate. Just not going to do it. Once you realize, hey, I'm not a tree, I can leave. I'm not rooted in. My roots are only psychological. My roots to any place are emotional roots. They are physical to the extent that maybe you have a mortgage here or friends and family here. You can leave. You can change. You can do whatever you want. And I just think more of us should more of us should explore that possibility that you could have a bigger, better, different life. You could have a marginally better life. And when you have a life that makes you very unhappy, a marginal difference can truly be the biggest difference in the world. So just food for thought. Anyway, see you next time.